So we have been hearing about CBAM, and most of the companies, they want to understand what exactly it means and how it impacts the business. CBAM basically means Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, and it was started by European Union. In this video, I'm going to talk about what exactly is CBAM, how does it impact business, what all businesses get covered by this, and to understand the complexities, the way by which we can actually manage the whole problem or CBAM that is there, how to use this as a business benefit for organizations. So let me start by talking about this. CBAM was started by European Union in May 2023. Idea was that trying to comply and trying to work on sustainability. The European Union wanted to put a lot of norms, a lot of compliances for all manufacturing which was happening in Europe, because they could see climate change happening and affecting the boundaries, also the sea levels, and a lot of other impacts which were becoming very critical for their existence. So any manufacturing which was happening, if it was to be done in Europe, then it has to comply with a lot of standards. To bypass this, some of the companies, they started doing production outside Europe, and they were not following all the norms, and of course cost of production was also low compared to European manufacturing. So this started impacting European business. So that's why this carbon border mechanism adjustment was brought in place, that anything which is brought inside Europe needs to have those compliance structures, and if not, then whatever additional pollution or any kind of mishap that happened, so that needs to be adjusted with a carbon tax. So 2023 May, this was put up by the European Parliament, put in effect, and from October 2023, the reporting was to be started. From January 2024, the first report was to be published. This has to happen every quarter, so every 3 months, every 4 months, we need to have working of that, and then 4 times in a year, the report would be produced. So all importing companies are to comply with this, and they have to publish the report in their European Union reporting system. This will happen as a pilot for 1.5 years, and then from 2026 January, so that is 2025 October onwards, this has to get into compliance. It has to become mandatory for companies, starting with 6 industry verticals which have been taken, which will be later on added. More industry verticals will be added, and by next couple of years, by 2034, every industry needs to comply with this CBAM initiative. Now, the 6 industries which have been taken at the current moment are iron and steel, cement, aluminium, fertilizer. These are the high polluting industry, energy, and hydrogen. So energy means electricity that has been taken, and these 6 industries are to be very clearly given mandate that they need to disclose. And in effect, what will happen is European Union and the importing companies, they want to gain by understanding more about the supply chain, about manufacturing, and how reduction efforts are being made. And instead of having a lot of complex calculations, want to have a simple, clean, and clear mechanism of reporting on the whole thing. So in a nutshell, what we're talking about, any industry which falls under this, if they are importing or exporting to European Union, they need to disclose their carbon emission which has happened, what kind of energy, what kind of water, what kind of processes, emissions that happen. That needs to be disclosed in a very transparent and simple manner. Now, for companies which are not too much complying with all of these, it becomes very complex. So that's why OnlyGood, as a team, what we have done is we have created an AI-based system where data can be captured, and we have created a framework which has got 3 different phases by which the whole mechanism can be passed on very, very clearly, transparently, and in a very simplistic format. So what happens is we start with the carbon baseline emission. So for any organization, as it is to be done, you have to do your total company's carbon monitoring, then create a baseline for that. You see in the manufacturing process which all suppliers are there, and you create a baseline for the suppliers. A complete supply chain distribution network needs to be captured. So baseline of the company, then the supply network, and third thing is the products which are being exported. There should be an LCA, that is life cycle analysis of that product from cradle, that is from the start to the manufacturing part, to be captured. So what happens is you get the complete organization's carbon footprint baseline, then your supply network, and for the product, complete emission which has happened. So whatever tons or quantities that you are exporting, that needs to be multiplied by your LCA for that particular product. And any product which is coming out of as a result of the 6 industries which have been impacted, that is iron and steel, cement, fertilizer, aluminium, electricity and hydrogen, need to have this particular mechanism in place. So OnlyGood, as I said, will help companies achieve all these parameters. We do end-to-end data collection, automation, and then we are, as a carbon compliant, you have to report this every quarter. So that reporting also needs to be done through a system which is pretty data extensive. So if you have mechanism like OnlyGood where data is captured in a digitized format, then your report comes out seamlessly, very easily. So these are some of the advantages. And then implementation happens in, as I said, in 3 phases. The first phase is doing a baselining. The second phase is doing a supply chain monitoring. The third is by doing an LCA of the product. Once we have the information, then any product which is related to that or similar to that, it can be done very, very easily. So overall process by coming to a digitized platform becomes very simple, easy, manageable. And the company can focus on their own processes, on businesses, and they can also look at growing the revenue rather than, getting bogged down by the complexities of CBAM and all the other reporting standards which are there. So CBAM is one part of it. If the company has exported and if they have a subsidiary in Europe, and in case the revenue goes above, let's say, certain number above $150 million, then they also need to comply with other mechanisms like CSRD, and then you have SASB and other regulations. So it's important to have your data compiled in a digitized format where reporting is not a challenge, but it becomes part of your regular day-to-day working. And everything is outsourced and managed by a professional like OnlyGood. So I believe you could understand about CBAM, and instead of looking at this as a threat, this can always looked upon as an opportunity where you take a step forward, understand the whole thing, get the framework ready, get it digitized, make sure your reportings are happening on time, and then you can always take a step forward and start increasing the business. Thank you.